with Kristen Smith and Bay Media today, we're going to take a look inside the relevance engines we've been using in previous modules of the series. We've granted Kristen a new capability within the system today, that of developer. Don't worry, she won't have to learn any programming to use this new ability. It's just a role we need her to have so that she can manage a relevance engine. Along the way throughout this learning series, you've seen some of the messaging facilities that Kristen established for Bay Media to notify various groups of people in a variety of circumstances. Now we can take a look at how she did that. From this section of her interface, she can enable or disable a particular engine. She can also edit or create new ones. When she wants to edit, she has the choice to edit the forms or properties of a relevance engine. And you can see from what happened here that this choice is non-binding. She can switch readily between editing the properties and the forms that constitute a particular relevance engine. Forms define the interface presented to a notification initiator when it's time to launch messages. By presenting a structure for input at the time of notification, the system makes it easy to avoid omitting critical elements of our intended message. Properties are the tools for getting input from the notification initiator. They're like widgets that comprise elements of the form. For instance, the situation report field we used in a notification earlier was a property. So was the checkbox that indicated whether a response was mandatory. If we open one of the forms that we've used before, the Lightning Gig, we can see two major sections, the recipient section and the message section. These can be moved around to manage the order of presentation. Properties that have been previously established in the relevance engine can be added to a section, or they can be easily removed. We can also add new sections to the form. For instance, we saw a situation earlier in which we wanted to draw people into a conference call. So if we wanted to do that here, we simply add a conference bridge section to our form. In addition to managing layout, we can also manage the messages to be delivered. The form collects information, and the messages can then include appropriate bits of that gathered information. There's a section to define the email fax message, and that may be different from what we want to deliver to the SMS text message recipient. And our voice interaction might differ from either of the first two, so we set up those messages separately. You may also see here that we can manage the set of possible responses that a recipient of a message may send back. If we'd like to add a new response to this form, for instance, we can assign it the number 4 for voice recipients of the notification. We can assign a token that SMS text message recipients use to reply, and a text token for email recipients to use in their subject line when responding. And if we'd like, we can even add a voice recording to represent the response choice right here in the design of the form. So by managing the forms and properties of a relevance engine, we can design notification procedures that make it easy to do the right thing when it's time to communicate with our people, even in situations where the heat is on.